Okay, this is a video that's going to start our project for the Candy Marble Still Life. This first worksheet that you're seeing here is the worksheet that's going to explain what step you should be on and what you're going to be doing for each step. Alright, so at each step you do need to have a teacher signature when you complete that step. Alright, for the first step you're going to be coloring the value color scheme worksheet. Alright, so that's what we're going to do on this first video is the worksheet. Okay, now before we get started on that worksheet, I do want you to go ahead and put your name on this so that if it does get lost, I know whose worksheet it is and I can go ahead and return it. So for mine, I'm going to go ahead and put Mrs. Downing, and I'm using pen so that you can see it on the video. You're going to use pencil. For your period number, you're going to put your number, so if you're in 1, then you're going to put period 1. I'm going to put period number here, and then you're going to circle if you're in A or B day. Alright, so circle one of those, and then you're going to put today's date. So if it's the month of March, you put March, and then the date, and then 2015, 2016, whatever it may be. Alright, and then just put that aside. Now for the color worksheet, the color worksheet that we're going to be using looks like this. Okay. For the color worksheet, I would like you also to go ahead and put your name at the top, first and last name. So I'm going to put Mrs. Downing. You're going to put again your first and last name. You're going to put your period number, and A or B day. Alright, and then also go ahead and put down the date. Okay, so today's date at the top. Okay, and that's also in pencil. Now, after you've done that, what I'm going to ask you to do is, if you are in class, you're going to go ahead and get excuse me, one of the color wheels that I have for you, and I will let you know, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat, a color wheel that you can use. Otherwise, if you're at home, feel free to go ahead and look at this one, take a good look at it while we're working here, and you can use this to your advantage. Also, you have a color wheel that is on the worksheet that you can use to fill out this worksheet as well. Okay, so color wheel. You've probably seen this before. I know that if you've had me in the past, you've been introduced to it. If you've had one of the other art teachers here in the Plainfield School District, you've also been introduced to it as well by them. So you should be no stranger to it. But just for review, the primaries here. Okay, let's talk about primaries. Primaries are 3 colors that are represented by a bold triangle that are set up here on the color wheel. Okay, so the 3 primaries are red, yellow, and blue. Okay, so on your worksheet, I want you to mark these. Okay, so right here on the worksheet, there's a spot for them. You're going to put a R, a Y, and a B right there in the corner to mark those. Now, as I just stated, there's a way to recognize where those primaries are on the color wheel. Now, in this color wheel here, they're not marked by a pretty triangle, okay, but if you notice, they are still in that triangular shape. Okay, so red, blue, and yellow are still in that triangular shape. Okay, so primary colors again, red, yellow, and blue. Can anybody tell me what is one thing that primary colors, or there's something about primary colors that makes them special, unique, different from any other colors. Anybody have an idea? Alright, well, keep that in mind, think about it, and then if we're in class, I'll ask you now. If we are doing this for homework, then we'll come back and I'll ask you when we come back together. Alright, so next thing, kind of skip this, but we'll go back to it right now. The first question right here, color is what? Well, color is, alright, everybody ready? Color is the reflection of light that bounces off an object. Okay, so color again is the reflection of light that bounces off an object. Alright, so we just talked about the primary colors. Okay, primary colors again are red, yellow, and blue. From the primary colors, there's 3 colors that are made from mixing 2 primaries together. Alright, so if you look at yellow and blue, in between yellow and blue, there's a color that's made from mixing them, which is green. Alright, if you look at red and blue, there's a color that's made by mixing those, that's violet. And then red and yellow make orange. Do any of you know what those 3 colors are called? If you guess secondary colors, you're correct. Secondary colors are the 3 colors that are created by mixing 2 primary colors. So down here, they've already listed the 3 secondary colors, but they want us to fill in how to create those 3 colors. So we're going to put down the 2 colors that create green. So again, yellow and blue, so Y plus B equals green. And for orange, red plus yellow, so R plus Y equals orange. And then for violet, red plus blue equals violet. Now, for complementary colors, let's go for complementary colors. Complementary colors are another group of colors, and they are colors that are opposites on the color wheel. Okay? Opposites on the color wheel basically mean that they are just that. If you put your finger down on red and you go across from it, it should be green. Okay? If you go from violet and you go across from it, it's yellow. Orange, blue. Okay? Now if we do a tricky one and we go from red, violet over, it should be yellow, green. Okay? So that's simply that. So for complementary colors, we're going to say it's colors opposite on the color wheel. And then I would like you to put down the 3 main complementary colors, the 3 main groups, so, or pairs, I should say. So blue, and I'm just going to put the initials, blue and orange red and green, yellow and violet. All right. Take a moment and look at that. Make sure you see how I found those. Okay. Now do me a favor and find one more. Find one more group, or put a line, and you find one more, fill it in. Okay, good. All right, so next group, tertiary colors. It's a funny word. All right, so tertiary colors is a group of colors that you've probably heard of before, but probably not by that name. All right, so tertiary colors are the 6 other colors that are on the color wheel. All right, they're not primary colors, they're not secondary colors, but they are the 6 other colors, and the other name that they go by are called intermediates. All right, so by where it says tertiary right here, we're going to change it, and we're going to, or not change it, we're going to add intermediate. Intermediate. Okay. Now intermediate colors, or tertiary colors, are colors that combine a primary and secondary color. All right, now I'm going to list all 6 of the tertiary intermediate colors here. And again, I'm just using the initials. And then I'm going to ask you a question about these and see if you could tell me the answer, okay? So listen very carefully, okay? So here are the different intermediates, okay? Blue, green. All right, so here's blue, green right here. Yellow, green. Yellow, orange. Red, orange. Red, violet. And blue, violet. Can any of you tell me what is the one thing that stays consistent with all of them? All right, well, think about that one too, and then we'll discuss that one together in class. All right, let's move on. Analogous colors, right here. Analogous colors is probably one that you have not heard of. Analogous colors is a group of colors that are side by side on the color wheel and share a common color. They're usually in a group of 3. Okay, so the definition of it is a group of 3 colors side by side on the color wheel. That share a common color. Alright, so examples. Let's talk about a couple examples. One example with 3 different colors. If we chose yellow green, yellow green, yellow, yellow orange, that would be an example. So I'm going to write down yellow green, yellow, yellow orange. Why is that a good example? Because they all share yellow. Alright. What's another example? Let's see, how can I do this? I'll put that, okay? So another example, let's say violet, violet, red violet, blue violet, right? Okay, so we'll start with red violet then. Red violet, violet, blue violet. Common factor there would be violet, right? Okay, so that is analogous colors. Alright, now it's your turn. You're going to tell me one example. So here on this line, I want you to show me one more example. Okay? So when you turn this into me, I should see one more example here. Okay, now these two here are another group of colors that do the opposite. Okay, so warm colors show us things that are naturally warm, warm to the touch. They display things that are usually associated with things that are hot. Alright, so colors such as yellow, red, and orange. Cool colors are associated with things that are cool or cool to the touch. So, green, blue, and violet. Alright, easy enough. Now the last one that we have here is monochromatic. Monochromatic simply means one color and its lights and darks. Alright, so what we've just done is we filled out this entire worksheet here about different color groupings, or what is better known as color schemes. Okay, so what artists do is they've used these in their pieces of artworks to better, how do you say, to make their work, to enhance their work. Alright, I think that's a good way to put it, to enhance their work. Alright, so when they add the color to it, it makes their work just that much better. You know, if you look at a Picasso, and you see the old man with the guitar, for instance. You can see how sad it looks and everything because it's in a monochromatic tone where it's all one color and it's all in blues. Okay, so it looks very sad. If you look at another picture and it's really cheery and it's all brightly colored, you know, you can see how very happy and joyous it is. All right, so the color really reflects how the artist wants it to feel. All right, so color scheme plays a big role a lot of times in how an artist wants it to be portrayed. All right, and color is going to play a big role in how your candy marble project is going to be enhanced. All right, so that's why we're looking at color as part of your assignment. All right, so this is the first part of your project, and the other piece of this is that I do want you to color. All right, so the way that I would like you to color this worksheet, and this half of it, is to color it neatly, to color it in with some precision. All right, nice and dark. All right, so if you see how I'm going slightly slower around the edging. All right, just take your time. This is what I would like to see throughout the whole piece. Okay, and where there are areas such as in the color wheel that you have mixing to be done, I would like you to actually mix your colors. So lighter color goes first. Remember, you know, use this as reference, you know, down here to as to what colors make what colors. When you get into the tertiary intermediate colors, if you're making a blue-green, you start off making a green and then you add more of the blue to make it into a blue-green. Again, if I could see which direction you're coloring, go another direction so that it covers it up. Just take pride in your work. Alright, so that's an example of doing a secondary color. Right. And then